I'm Bob Barron. Some of you well know that. I've been talking on these YouTube videos for quite a while. It is 13 minutes after 11 on, this is December the 30th, 2013. And I've come out here to this place, Fort Ord, California, where I was stationed, for basic training quite a while ago. 1958. It's a gorgeous day today. You can see how nice it is. A little bit cool this morning. It's going to get warmer, about 70 probably later on. But I just came here to share a few things. I guess it's some memories. I had some papers I was looking through in my house just yesterday, and this is what I want to say. I have the paper that called me to get inducted. I got drafted, and it says on 9 December 1958, they have a list of 60 of us here, 60. And I'm number 5 on that list, Robert F. Barron. It said, having been inducted at this station, which is at 1525 South Figueroa Street in Los Angeles, on 9 December 58 for the Army of the United States, unassigned persons, which is what we are, for 24 months, that's what the draft was for us, we're assigned to the USA Reception Station at Fort Ord, California, for further processing. It was for basic training too. It says we're going to go by rail. It says rail, air, or bus, but they took us on a train, overnight train from Los Angeles up here. They gave us sleepers, which was kind of really quite unexpected pleasantness, to have a sleeper on a train. Got here about 3 in the morning, and then they were all dressed in our civvies, with a little bag of things we're told to bring along. Your shaver, your toothbrush, extra pair of underwear and socks, probably a bar of soap or whatever that was, And then we all get lined up, and we get our regular Army clothes to start our 8 weeks. I just wanted to come back here because they've made some of this into a national monument now. You can see a lot of it's been closed up, but these are the barracks we lived in for those weeks. And when I looked at this list of people on here, from LA, gosh, I remember these names. And if I can't really use all the names, I think that probably would be unethical, but Gerald, I remember you because we rode back here. We had a little leave for overtime for Christmas. We came back. I remember you, Gerald. Oh my goodness. And Richard, yeah, I remember you too. And Obi. It's funny how all these names just ring all those bells. Daryl, And Peter L. the Third. I remember you because your name, you made fun of it. So I guess the point is, you guys who's still around, if you see this video, I'm going to put it on YouTube and put it also on Facebook. If you know who you are and you want to communicate, I'd just like to hear from you. Just give me a little thing, I guess, on Facebook. That'd be a nice way to communicate. But this is anybody who, came up from LA on that day, 9 December 1958. It's a little bit more than 50, well, it's 55 years ago, right? I'm 77, and when I look at these birthdays, I know some of you guys are a little bit younger than I am, because they give us all the birth years, right? I was 36, I got 34, 33, some guys 39, 40, and we all got drafted. And we served our country. That word service, it means a lot to me these days. We're called to do something, we did it, and I'm in one piece, thank you. I did get hurt a little bit. Skiing, they were trying to teach me how to be a skier over in Europe, but it didn't quite work out. But I have really no regrets about it, because from this place, after my service, I was actually able to have the GI Bill and get an education, which was a great thing, But I think the Army, maybe any military service, teaches us something about life you can't learn other ways, and that is that people come here from all over, not just from L.A. They're from the South, some from the Midwest. I don't know how they ended up out here, but they did. And then all your fancy clothes are taken away, and they give you all the same clothes. And so for a while, you get a chance to have that understanding that human beings are pretty much the same, no matter whether, you're a little bit light, pale, or dark, or whatever. We're all the same, and pretty much we have to act the same when we're together, because we're working together, right? We have to, or it ain't gonna work. I had some other things, these papers, I just was amazed to find I still had them when I was given my badge for being a marksman, being able to fire a weapon. I'm not just talking, it was an interesting thing, right? They give you an M1 rifle, and there's a target that's 300 yards away, and you're supposed to make at least 3 of them in that little special place, and you can do it. Well, I got a badge for that, right? They call me a marksman. They even told me my score, along with the rest of the bunch in this place. Some of the same guys, of course. And then I got reassigned to go to Fort Ord after, which is towards the east coast of this country. And then I have a list of those guys too. So if you went to Fort Ord, April, that would be March or April 1959, until we finished our I think it was 16 weeks of training out there for CIC. Then from there I was shipped overseas to Germany, and I have a list of that too. I was in Stuttgart. So who was in Stuttgart? We were at the 66th. I can't tell you more about that, but it's right in Stuttgart, the old grocer right back. So, any of those places, that rings a bell, and you want to communicate, hey, I'd love to hear if I really would. I'm glad to be here at age 77, and just like I said, I was surprised to find all these papers. What else I found? It might be of interest to people, especially those who weren't in the military. It's my first pay sheet, right? From December the 9th, I guess, through part of January, and then it's the whole month, actually. Well, from that time, a little bit in December, we had some leave time in the middle, but the total was $85. That was my pay. And they took out $4 for my laundry, because they wash your clothes. Well, somebody else does. We don't do it ourselves. I don't think there were any laundromats back at that time. Anyhow, I have another memory. I'm just talking. I hope I'm not boring you at all. It's a gorgeous day out here. This is really pretty big. There's some pine trees and other kinds of trees, And it's kind of a shame, in a sense, to see all the stuff empty. But, of course, it was a different era, and these are wooden. Maybe they're going to be, I don't know what's going to happen to them. But I do remember my sergeant here, Sergeant Faulkner. So if any of your family's still around, Sergeant Faulkner, you were the guy in charge of our particular barracks. I remember you because you were really, what can I say? You act like a father to us, truly. You said, I understand you boys. And then, said as long as you're a good soldier, that's what was important to you. And I think you made us good soldiers. I do believe that happened. But what I remember also is after our night maneuvers, you told us, okay, boys, now you can go into the mess hall for your hot cocoa and marshmallows. And surprise, surprise, yeah, we actually had hot cocoa and marshmallows. What a really unexpected place. So yeah, Sergeant Faulkner, you had a great heart, and so if any of your family's still around, we appreciate that. Sergeant Faulkner was just a guy, unexpected, So people who've never been in the service, they may not understand what I'm even talking about. But it definitely, if something happens when you're with other people, they're complete strangers. But now here I am, all these years later, and I still remember these people, and some with, quite a bit of liking, because we did a lot of stuff together, went overseas together, and whatever all that's about, it's part of being part of America. That's it, we are Americans. I think that's pretty evident. One of the guys in our outfit was actually from Canada, and so on the list they call him an alien, which I kind of startled me today, because we didn't think he was an alien at that time. But he was only 16 years old. He must have lied to get into the service, but Sergeant Faulkner said he's a good soldier, and he was. He knew how to. You had to be able to dress up, keep yourself clean, and know how to march and be with other people, because you're learning to be together. That's what the important part was, I do believe. Oh, my memories, memories, memories. I guess I can share you one more thing with you before I turn this thing off. I do plan to go down towards the other part they made. This is a national monument, part of this out here. You know, part of the interior now, United States. But part of it, down by the ocean there, they call it Fort Ord Dunes State Park. Well, Fort Ord Dunes, if I can go down and take another picture, I'll do that and show you. That's where our rifle range was. So that's how I learned how to shoot an M1, you know, lying on the ground with that butt of the weapon right here, so you don't hurt yourself, and then, you know, you learn how to squeeze that trigger and hit the target. But I want to go down there because the memories are really some very, well, there's some sad memories too, but I won't really talk too much about that. But most of it's, you know, was a good stuff because we got through it and we did something that was worth doing. I believe that is true. My service was 1958, 1964. That's what it was. I have a book, and this is not really meant to be a commercial, but I want to tell you one reason why I came out here. I wrote this little book. It's called Life Parts, because it's about a lot of stuff, but there is a story in here about my Army service. Part of it is getting, you know, inducted in LA. I didn't talk about this part yet. I may in the future, but I also talked about what it was like to be stationed over in Germany, and that's a story in here. And I just mention that because in case someone wants to look at this thing, it's in the book. Life Parts, Robert Barron, that's my name. Hey, thanks for looking at this. I hope to put it on today. It's now 25 after, so I've been yakking at you for like 10 or 12 minutes. But as always, thanks a lot. Hope to, well, have Happy New Year. That's what's coming up in just a day or so. And bye-bye.